going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Project Explorer, and today is kind of just a checkup day because the truck has been not running rough necessarily, but not in the greatest of looking shape when it comes to the 4.0. Now, a lot of you guys have known I've hated on that engine since I got the truck, and it's had an oil leak. It's had 2 blown valve cover gaskets, but the reason I bring up that I'm afraid about it is this was discovered in our house when we got back from Florida. I went to do my college orientation Tuesday. As you can see, there's a lot of what appears to be oil on the ground. Now, my dad was telling me it could be from the valve cover gaskets, just because the truck sat for a little over 2 weeks and barely got moved, or it could be that something's happened. So today's video is just be doing a checklist on it. I'm wearing a hat with glasses on top of it. It's blinding out, it's really hot. So I've got the hood up already over there, as you guys can see. So we're just gonna do a bit of a check on it, make sure everything's looking okay, make sure it still has oil. I've driven it a little bit since we discovered this. I drove it Monday to my college orientation, like I said, because I needed to get there and get my classes figured out. So yeah, I'm a little bit upset, I'm a little bit nervous about everything that I'm about to do with that, because I'm just afraid of finding something wrong with it, because as you guys have known, that truck's been a bit of an issue. It's not like it's blown up or anything, knock on wood for that, hopefully it doesn't, even though you guys remember episode 1 or 2, I think I mentioned doing a 5.0 swap on it. And I think I've pretty much said that if I'm gonna keep this truck, if something blows up on it, which I really do love this truck to death, and I would love to keep it, if that 4.0 blows up, which I really hope it doesn't, because it'll be a pain in the neck to get everything done, I wanna throw a 5.0 Windsor, which was out of a older Mustang, such as a 94, S and 95, which is the only year they did the 5.0, I believe, on that car. And then they moved it over to the Explorer. And that'll be definitely an engine choice I'd go with if something were to happen to the 4.0 out there. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check my oil, make sure everything's still okay. It's still an even oil change, I know. I'm getting that done here very soon. I'm also gonna be showing you guys off some new stuff that's happened on it and some stuff that may be happening to it very soon. So anyway, let's get a check in the oil. So the problem we've had is I haven't been able to find the shop towels, but I did find this one. It's used, sadly, but it's the only one we have because Michael was over recently. He checked his oil. So what I'm gonna do now is pull the dipstick out, see what we can do, and all of that. So it hasn't ran, so it's probably a good idea to crank it. So I'll give you guys a bit of exhaust scope real quick. So we got her running. Just gonna let her run for about a couple minutes or so just to get the oil circulating a little bit so I can check the oil on it without it scalding my hands. So I'm gonna give you guys kind of an exterior update. As you guys can see, the ST badge is held up well. You guys remember, I believe it was like episode 18 or 19, maybe somewhere in the early 20s. We had the ST badges put on the front and back. We got the new Bell-Tac decal on there as well from where the loading blocks were, which I still haven't been situated with. The Medusa Motorsports sticker, I don't know what's going to happen with that because Medusa hasn't been very active at all in the last few months. And of course, the infamous LL4B sticker. So I'll hop in the interior and show you guys some stuff. Please don't copyright claim me for that. I forgot I had my radio turned up. There we go. So seat covers holding up great. One thing I'm going to definitely look into soon is getting new seats because like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of seat covers. These get the job done. They make the seats more tolerable. I like how they look. I like leather. But I am definitely wanting to get actual leather bucket seats. And I can't decide whether I want to go and get racing style buckets that have the bigger side bolsters, or if I just want to stick with getting another set of getting these actually kind of like custom fabricated to fit the seat. I don't know for sure. Another idea tossed around was the steering wheel. My dad won't let me do that though, since this is a daily driver. I can't really do that because it'll delete both airbags actually up front if I were to do that. So Little radio update. Sony is still holding strong. I haven't really used the Bluetooth much, which I'm probably going to get back into doing. The main reason I do that is because I'm trying to save my phone battery. iPhones and toys don't have the greatest of batteries. So, gauge cluster though, if you guys remember, half my lights don't work. Once it hits about 70 miles an hour at night, I can't tell how fast I'm going. It's not like I'm going to be going that fast anyway, but it is a problem because these two gauges on the right here also go dead. So, but yeah, so I'm going to let it run for a couple more minutes and then we're going to hop in and check out the oil. Alright, so it's sat for a few minutes. Now we're going to get to work on checking the oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find somewhere to put this camera, and or my phone I should say. And yeah, so let's see what I can figure out. Alright, so we just finished checking the oil, and I say we need, but good news is everything's fine. It's a big weight off my shoulder. It's actually down where it was supposed to be originally, so the leak's definitely done its job, and that's why when I first, if you watched Project Explorer episode 1, I really overfilled it on oil. And I didn't panic. I was like, you know, it's got a leak. It's going to go back down eventually. And after, let's see, I did that episode in February, so it's July now, so it's been about 6 months, almost 5 or 6 months, and it's finally back down where it needs to be. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and start talking about other plans for the vehicle now. So, first up, we're going to start under the hood since it's up, and I might as well show it off. But so the plan is, I've been looking at an air intake system for this thing because the filter is already bad. We cleaned it out a couple weeks ago, and it seemed to have possibly solved my idling issue. A lot of people did not know off camera that I did have an idling issue. That appears to have been the problem. So what's kept me back from doing an intake is this guy. This guy right here has made it a pain in my neck to get an intake set up because I wanted to build one the same way that Michael built his, except I was going to use a different filter because I didn't know really much about Spectre. So this little guy made it hard for me. So I'm having to buy a special built system for the SportTrac. It's another unknown brand, but it is someone that I've seen other people on my owner's group use. It'll have the same kind of design. It'll come out right here, go straight there, and it'll be chrome piping, which will look really good. Now, another thing I'm planning on doing, as you guys can see over here, my valve covers are saturated with oil. We're going to be getting the gaskets replaced soon, and I'm going to be painting the valve covers in Ford blue. I also kind of want to do some work on the brake booster back there because it's kind of gross looking. What is that, a heat shield? I think that's a heat shield. I don't know if that's factory or not. It looks like it's made out of aluminum foil. At least, I don't know, maybe that thing. I don't know which one's the brake booster, guys. If you guys know, let me know. But besides that, I got to get some stuff cleaned up. I'm probably doing a super cleaning. If you guys saw the Chris Fix video, that's where I'm going to get my inspiration from. Thanks, Chris Fix, for that. Other stuff I need to get done, definitely another radiator clean, because as you guys can see, there are bugs everywhere in here. Especially, I can't find that trash Michael threw in here though, which is what's interesting. If you guys remember the last Boosted Mafia vlog. Coolant looks fine though. Haven't had any more issues with the thermostat. That's actually the new housing from when it blew up a few months ago. We'll be cleaning the throttle body as well because it's definitely in need of it. So a lot of under the hood stuff is going to be happening. I looked into getting injectors done as well, but from Michael's advice, but can't seem to find any 4-hole injectors underneath for this truck. So it's a bit of a problem. I will be cleaning the hood liner. It's actually stained from where the coolant incident happened, where my throttle body, not my throttle body, my thermostat blew up. So yeah, it's time to talk a little bit on the interior. Got to get my key because I locked it back because I didn't expect to open the door again because it's really hot out. I really did not want to film this outside. Alright, first things first is the gauge cluster. Now, I'm going to be planning on trying to either get this redone entirely, get a whole new look to the gauge cluster. My uncle knows a guy that can get us hooked up. Or I might be trying to get a more modern Ford gauge cluster, say out of a newer car, and try to retrofit it in here and try to get some more use out of it. I also plan on trying to do some work on the little piece of dash right there where my radio sits. It's been painted, it seems to be, and it's peeling off already. Doesn't look very good. So besides that, really, I've been looking in the seats. Like I said earlier, these seats, they're still really good on cushioning, but there's a little bit of tears down in the bottom. This is probably the bad spot in the seat right here. This is bit right here. You guys saw it when I didn't have the cover on it. So as well as getting the center console replaced because it's a bag, literally. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got planned for it. We're trying to redo some of the interior, probably get a new door speaker soon, because this one sounds like it's trying to go, but it's not going.
So I might get these replaced around sooner or later. I've only got 4-door speakers, so it's not the biggest deal. And definitely getting these probably either resurfaced or replaced, because this is fading and it looks really bad. It bothers me. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got a lot of plans for this vehicle. You guys have been along for the ride. It's definitely been a long one, because this truck, like I said, has had a ton of issues in its past, but I'm slowly but surely working on it, getting it back up and trying to make it better than it once was. So updating the lowering situation real quick before I cut this video off. The U-bolts are going to have to be purchased and probably even special ordered, because I have to find U-bolts that are long enough to fit those blocks. The U-bolts supplied by the shop I ordered them from were too short by about 3 inches, and I emailed them asking them if there was any way I could either get a new set of U-bolts or if they had a different kit that had longer U-bolts. They said I could send mine back, sure, which I was okay with. I didn't really want to do it, but I have to pay a 15% restocking fee, and when you pay $50 for a kit and you don't have any money left over at that point, like I did, I literally used all my money on getting the lowering blocks that I had at the time, and I couldn't afford that. So in the long run, my parents will be giving me some money very soon. It's actually part of my graduation money I loaned to them. So just to be helpful around the house, you know. All families run into situations, and I decided I needed to help my parents more than I needed to help myself. I know that's probably going to upset a lot of you guys that are looking forward to seeing this thing dropped and have some mods on it by now, but have to help around the house when you can. So yeah, that's really been kind of the straw that broke the camel's back with this whole thing, is not having enough money to do it. So hopefully sooner or later I'm going to be getting sponsored. I'm going to try to shoot to that car dealership that we got Michael's car from, and try to do some kind of sponsored videos there. I don't know, have to talk to Michael and see if he's down to help me with that, because I'm not notably the type of like, hey, sponsor me, man, help me out, because I'm the type, I try to do things on my own, but sponsorships will help, especially if they can help me out with this, because getting this rebuilt and fixed up would be great. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this long episode of Project Explorer. I haven't done an episode this long in a while, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, guys.